Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I'm Peter Gross, co-host of the original Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins and Jim Fowler. In the early days of filming wildlife, as you'll see tonight, researchers had to capture animals in order to observe and learn from them. But that's no longer the case today. Modern technologies such as drones and satellite tracking offer new ways to study animals in their natural habitat with less intrusion, free from human touch. Wild Kingdom set the gold standard for nature programming and introduced generations of young people to the wonders of the natural world. Fortunately, the successful research that began with our original series helped many animals make a comeback from the threat of extinction. And that's good news for the Wild Kingdom. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom right here on RFD-TV.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom is presented by Mutual of Omaha, people you can count on.
Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Recently, as part of the extensive U.S.-Soviet Environmental Protection Agreement, steps were taken to reestablish an animal species in Siberia which had become extinct there over 200 years ago. This animal is the musk ox of the American Arctic. These great shaggy animals are well adapted to a frigid habitat, and they are holding their own in the Arctic of our own hemisphere. As a matter of fact, in some areas they've become so abundant that the existing food supplies are not adequate. That's the case at the Nunivak Island National Wildlife Refuge here in Alaskan waters. Eskimos living on Nunivak helped in a project to capture and relocate to Siberia 41 of the musk oxen. They utilized the highly versatile snowmobile to move right in among the galloping musk oxen, matching their speed across the snow and separating selected animals from the main herd for capture. These captured animals were to be airlifted from Nunivak, here in the Bering Sea just off Alaska's southwestern shore, to Siberia's Wrangel Island, here. The hope is that a whole new population might be reestablished from the relocated healthy breeding stock of musk oxen of Nunivak. We're flying over Nunivak Island in mid-spring. In this harsh Arctic terrain live the numerous musk oxen which descended from those animals brought here from Greenland several decades ago. Few animals besides musk oxen are adapted to life here, but among those that can stand the rigors are reindeer, such as this herd we're passing now. We're coming over the Eskimo village of Makoriak, where we're to land and rendezvous with U.S. and Soviet wildlife specialists. Waiting for me, as planned, with a pair of snowmobiles for our field use, is the man who's supervising the musk oxen capture, Fish and Wildlife Service biologist Jerry Hout. He says everything is in readiness on the other side of Makoriak village, which we'll be going through on the way. The temperature here sometimes reaches 30 degrees below zero. In just standing outside, the cold is bearable, but when riding in the open air, good head protection is essential. Otherwise, before one realizes what's happening, serious frostbite can occur. According to Jerry, snowmobiles are better than helicopters for this project. That's because they make it possible to isolate and control individual musk oxen. With this method, it becomes unnecessary to use immobilizing drugs to capture and transport the animals. Such drugged immobilization in these frigid conditions could be very dangerous to the health of the musk oxen. Alaska's western Eskimos were never igloo builders, but at one time their shelters were very primitive. That is no longer the case. Now their towns are built of ordinary construction material. Just as occurs all over the world, wherever there's snow and ice, children love to play in it, and a dog enhances the fun. Despite the gradual inroads of civilization, which have brought many modern conveniences to Nunivak Island, the Eskimos here still retain many of their former ways of life. The blending of the modern and primitive cultures here has not had an undesirable disruptive effect upon them. This rendezvous point on the edge of town where the others are waiting is practically a depot for the snowmobiles and other equipment we'll need. One of the two Soviets who have come to observe the operation here is Dr. Vadim Sergeyevich Tarkov. The other is Sava Mikhailovich Uspensky. They are wildlife experts in charge of the Soviet arrangements in the exchange program. Also assisting in the transplant operation was Dr. Peter Lent of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the University of Alaska. Finally, there's Dan St. John, our interpreter. We're all aware of the importance of this project, and we're eager to begin. The Eskimos who will be rounding up the musk oxen for capture are already leaving with their necessary equipment. We'll follow the Eskimos to where 3 separate herds of the animals were located earlier today. We share a sense of accomplishment in the knowledge that through what we're doing today, a species extinct in northern Asia for over 200 years will be reestablished. For the most part, we are merely going to observe the operation until several individual musk oxen have been separated from the main herd. Then we'll lend a hand in capturing the animals. Professor Uspensky indicates that the roundup has begun. Quite a distance ahead of us, we can see where 3 different groups of musk oxen are being driven downhill towards us. The Eskimos are expert at maneuvering on their snowmobiles, and once they've got the smaller groups of musk oxen on more level ground, they'll merge the groups into one large herd. That way, all our activity can be centralized. The herd is being maneuvered into position, and so it's time for Jerry Hout to direct operations. In a short while, we'll join Jerry and help isolate selected individual musk oxen from the main herd. Just as man protects threatened animals, Mutual of Omaha can help protect your financial security. The musk oxen have incredible stamina and can run swiftly across the snowy crust. So even with the snowmobiles, the job of separating the animals we wanted would be difficult. We've moved closer to where the Eskimos, under the direction of Jerry Hout, the wildlife biologist, are looking for specific animals they want to isolate. To be of greatest value to the Soviets in the reestablishment of musk oxen in Siberia, the animals selected must be young, strong breeding stock, vigorous animals which can resist predators. When Jerry has selected those that are ideal, that's when our help will be required in isolating them for capture. It is from this group of animals that the Eskimos are separating from the main herd that the first individuals for actual capture will be selected. This same sort of teamwork by the Eskimos on snowmobiles is occurring at several different places here simultaneously. The musk oxen have calmed down for the moment, so now it's time for us to lend a hand. Musk oxen have tremendous strength and can become dangerously aggressive. Our task is to surround each animal so it has no way to escape. At that point, we can move in on it with less risk to either man or animal being hurt. We have this one just about ready now, and Jerry Hout is moving into position.
We can begin with the actual capture of this muskox now. Marlin's in good position to cut off its escape. The individual muskoxen that are isolated have become less and less inclined to bolt. This one, in fact, looks as if it's just about finished running. So now we can prepare to get the net over it. The muskox doesn't even react when the men pull the net into position. Had we attempted to net the muskox this way when it was fully active and extremely aggressive, it would have been impossible to hold him like this. Now, with everyone moving in to lend a hand, we have the animal under control. It takes our combined effort to hold the powerful muskox still so we can tie rope hobbles around its ankles. Other groups nearby are netting and hobbling too. So it won't be very long before we have the 41 selected musk oxen captured that are to be translocated to Siberia. The process going on with the animal our group caught is representative. After the ankles are tied, the net is quickly removed. Sometimes the oxen will continue to lie in the snow, but the hobbles are loose enough that they can stand if they wish. All of the capture groups have netted and tied their animals, but we're aware of the need to work fast now. We don't want to keep any of the animals tied too long in this frigid climate. Now we'll get the hobbled musk oxen loaded onto sleds and moved to a central location near the rendezvous point. A fenced yard has been constructed, and we'll be able to release these animals there. And then, after checking their health, load them into crates for the airlift.
As nearly as I can tell, this part of the job's almost over. Teams have captured the required number of animals, and they're being loaded and tied to sleds, just like this one. The entire capture operation has gone very smoothly. Each of the animals being removed from Nunivak Island helps ensure that those remaining here will have enough food to survive the winter. The cooperative thinning helps both nations because if they remained here, overcrowding would almost certainly result in winter kill. With all of the captive musk oxen now secured to the sleds, we'll begin moving them in one combined operation to the holding pen. Without help of the Makoriak Eskimos and their skillful handling of the snowmobiles in rounding up and isolating the musk oxen and then towing them back to the pen, this whole operation would have been impossible. I'll join the procession heading for the holding pens. The most difficult part of our job is over. We'll soon be loading these animals for the airlift to the mainland and their long flight to Siberia. One final task remained, that of getting the individual musk oxen we had captured loaded into sturdy crates for the airlift to Wrangel Island in Siberia. 41 of these crates have been readied in advance for our use. The scientists involved in this project have completed their checking of each of the animals to make sure all are in good health before being shipped to the Soviet Union. Now the Eskimos who did all the heavy work in the capture can relax and watch us as we start to load the captive animals. This is one of the smaller animals, a young female, but it's large enough to require several men working together to keep it under control. There have been very few internationally cooperative projects such as this, where man has helped to restore a species which was heading for extinction. If this project works as well as we hope, it may open the door to reestablishment of other species which have become extinct in certain regions throughout the world. Cooperative projects of this type and those being planned hold great promise for endangered wildlife. They mark a milestone in man's dealings with nature. Professor Uspensky and Dr. Tarkov are just as aware as I am of the importance of the precedent being set here in not only the immediate matter of wildlife preservation, but equally in the important matter of international cooperation. These animals will now be taken from here a short distance to the Makoriak airstrip for their airlift aboard a sky van to Bethel on the Alaskan mainland. From here, the Soviets will accompany the crated Musk Oxen to where their own cargo plane is waiting at the Bethel airfield on the mainland. Once all 41 of the Musk Oxen have been loaded aboard the Soviet plane, they will be taken directly to Wrangel Island and the Taimyr Peninsula in Siberia. As soon as the crated animals arrive in the Soviet Union, they'll be released in habitats similar to the one from which they've been taken. The departure of the sky van from Makoriak is perhaps the opening of a whole new era of cooperation between men of different nations, based upon their mutual responsibilities in preserving nature. The departure of the plane represents two fine accomplishments: a new international cooperation and the ultimate reestablishment of animals long extinct in Asia through the offspring of the Musk Oxen of Nunivak. Life in the wild is full of the unexpected. So is man's life. Mutual of Omaha can help you face the unexpected and see it through. The cooperation between Soviet and American scientists had resulted in a number of conservation efforts before the Musk Oxen project. For example, the snow geese, which migrate between Siberia and Alaska, have been cooperatively banded and studied by scientists of the two nations. There have been several other comparable programs, but the capture of the Musk Oxen of Nunivak and their successful relocation in Siberia has been the most ambitious undertaking to date. Each such mutual effort helps to promote a better understanding between the two most powerful nations on Earth, and at the same time protects and preserves the beauty and wonder of the wild kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha, people you can count on, has presented Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha, helping people find Medicare solutions for over 50 years. To learn more about plan options or how to protect your kingdom, contact us today.
Mutual of Omaha. Protect your kingdom.